Greetings and salutations, Forum, and welcome to your nightmare. Fear not, viewers, you're safe in my capable arms, for now. Top 5s are the pinnacle of entertainment, for they provide insightful information in a bite-size size, especially if you are, say, a megalodon shark, the third deadliest predator in our deep dark sea. But that is a story for future premium content. I feel that with the majority of top 5ers, they never dare dive into the deepest and darkest depths to find those truly worthy of the prestigious number 1 slot. So that is why I come to you today, fellow crypt dwellers. I will show you just how far the rabbit hole can go. So here are the definitive top 5 terrible places you should never, ever, ever visit. Escaping from the crypt at number 5 is the door to hell. Also known as the gate to hell, the crater of fire, Darvaza crater, is a natural gas field in Derwiz, Turkmenistan, that collapsed into an underground cavern in 1971, turning it into a natural gas crater. Geologists felt that the best course of action to prevent the inevitable spreading of methane gas into the air would be to set it aflame. They calculated that the fire would only last a fortnight at most, but their calculations were way off. This now stands as a reminder to the terrors that lay below our feet, that being the inevitable rebellion of Lucifer's children as they deem hell not enough to contain them and bring the terrors from below up above. Welcome to hell on earth. Slithering in at number 4, the island of the dolls. Just south of Mexico City, between the canals of Xochimilco, you can find a small island with a sad background which never intended to be a tourist destination. This island is known as Isla de las Muñecas, or, for a rough translation to native English speakers, Island of the Dolls. Here you'll find thousands of mutilated dolls hanging from the trees and hiding among the very dense branches. Legend has it that the dolls were hung up each year by Julian Barrera after he retreated to a more secluded area in Xochimilco to begin life as a recluse, something we can all appreciate. However, what he wasn't expecting was to stumble upon the decaying corpse of a young lady woman and the doll she had left behind, simply drifting down a nearby canal upon his arrival. So naturally, he did what anyone would have in his position. He hung the doll from a nearby tree. Believing that this would appease her ghost, he continued to do so until his death, 50 years later. Nice to know that even in death, the little girl always had a doll looking out for her, and that doll's name was Julian Barrera. Bursting out of the chamber pot at number 3, the Hill of Crosses. Located in northern Lithuania, roughly 12 kilometers north of the city of Šiauliai, stands a hill coated entirely in hundreds upon thousands of cross, crucifixes and statues of the Virgin Mary. Whilst the true origin remains unknown, it is believed that they were placed here after the November uprising between Poland and Russia, which began on the 29th of November in 1830 in Warsaw, when the young Polish officers from the local army of the Congress Poland's military academy revolted, which was led by none other than Piotr Wysocki. Piotr Wysocki, born 10th of September 1797, was a Polish lieutenant and leader of the Polish conspiracy against the Russian Tsar Nicholas I. For his actions during the uprising, he was sentenced to death by the Russians. This sentence was later commuted to a 20-year exile in Siberia. As families were unable to locate the bodies of perished rebels, they instead placed symbolic crosses in the place of a former hill fort. After a visit from Pope John Paul II in 1993, he claimed this to be a place for hope, peace, love, and sacrifice. So as you can imagine, this is no place for us crypt dwellers. Escaping the noose into the number 2 slot, Suicide Forest, aka the Sea of Trees. Located at the northwest base of Mount Fuji in Japan, this site is infamous for being a suicide hotspot. Because of this, It is said that those who took their lives in this very forest rose to forever protect the forest as Yurei, which can be roughly translated to angry ghosts for all you non-native Jap speakers out there. Due to its sheer size of 14 square miles and its dense nature, it is more than easy for one to end up forever lost in this seemingly endless death ground. Should you be one of the unfortunate few whom stirs from the official path set down by park rangers, the only escape for you could be that which took the lives of literally thousands upon thousands of other unfortunate souls who found themselves lost in that very situation in the forest, otherwise known as the Sea of Trees, suicide. And finally, managing to somehow slither his way from his just desserts is number one, music. Are you serious? Are you serious? This is what this is about. I'm sorry, but if you're not going to take this seriously, I'm just not going to be involved.
Boo! Just kidding, Farm. It's not really certain. It's your boy, me. I'm afraid I've had to take over for our normal host, Nocturnal Nathan, as he was feeling a little under the weather. The weather being overcast. So I'll be taking over for the remainder of the show. So to pick off where our faithful host Nocturnal Nathan left off, here is the number one spot in the top 5 terrible places you should never ever ever visit. That prestigious number one spot belonging to none other than Music Video's YouTube channel. Oh, look at that. It happened again. I guess this wouldn't happen if you gave me what was rightfully mine. So you may be asking yourself, how on earth did Music Video's channel manage to top Suicide Forest, aka the Sea of Trees? Well, that's a good question, so let's dive right into that. It is a place full of treachery, tyranny, betrayal, and broken promises. See, he has no problem taking and taking, but he never gives. Music Video is not a giver. He's a tanker, the worst kind of person, unlike me, your boy, as I'm a kind, passionate person, and I will give anyone a shout out if I believe it's worth my time. Unfortunately, people like Music Video just seem to be blissfully unaware of how much hard work and love goes into another high quality. So to make an entire video devoted to him takes a lot of work. And to have him just toss it aside like it's nothing, like it means nothing to him, really hurts me. Regrettably for him, I have some shocking news for you all, which will no doubt shock you all to the very core, as it's honestly quite shocking. I find it very difficult to express how I feel through words. And I'm not as nimble as I used to be back in my younger days, so I lack the flexibility to express it through interpretive dance. So I've had to resort to a life of crime and use vandalism to express my feelings. So please, won't you join me as we traverse over to the Etch-a-Sketch-a-Con to express how I'm truly feeling about that traitor. As let's be honest for him, he's had plenty of time to comply with my wishes and provide me with that which I deserve, that being my shout out. This way for him. Well, there it is for him, my Magnus Opal. It says, Music Vid sucks. And thus concludes another terrifying tale obtained from the darkest depths of your mind. I've been your host, Nocturnal Nathan, wishing you safe travels back home, as you won't have my overprotective arms to shield you from the terrors of the world such as the boogeymens and the bedbugs. Until next time, fare thee well.